Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm just getting everything set up here for us. And it's Sunday morning, and it's time for our weekly pick a card readings. And you may have noticed that I am naming these videos Manifesting SOS. And the reason I'm calling these Manifesting SOS, hold on just for a second. Just grabbing my coffee and my notebook. The reason that I'm calling these calls Manifesting SOS is because there are many people that follow along with me. Here's my coffee, that are manifestors. Good morning. Thank you, Sandra. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And I'm glad that you're here. The reason that I'm calling these Manifesting SOS is because a lot of times just waiting on the thing that you're wanting to manifest is just so frustrating. I have been in that place, and I have to tell you, this week was really fun. I'm doing some special manifesting experiments right now. And as a matter of fact, I do have a private manifesting group. It's called the Attraction Lab, and it's in Messenger. So if you're interested and want to be a part of that, shoot me an email. You'll hear me saying that a lot. At tarotinfoplease@gmail.com. It's in the description below. And I'm happy to include you in the lab where we are doing experiments all the time. I have a couple of manifesting goals. I don't talk about them because that's part of the magic for me, is to hold my intentions within to empower them. But yesterday, somebody walked up to my door. I'm not kidding. I'm just going to try to lift this so I can show you. And they brought a grandfather clock to me. It's so bright over there. I know it may be a little hard to see. When she brought it, she said, "Well, the problem is it doesn't work, but it's a beautiful piece of furniture. Would you like to have it?" Now, I did not have a grandfather clock on my manifesting list. Or on my vision board or anything. In fact, I don't even have an active vision board right now. But the fact that somebody brought it to me is sweet. And that's kind of the way the universe has been working with me now for about 20 years. Particularly the last 10 years have been very intense because I've needed to recreate my life after a divorce. And my resources have been low over the last 10 years, from time to time, paralyzingly low. But the universe shows up over and over again with things that absolutely delight me. And so I'm just wanting to gather us together for questions and answers, drawing cards so that we can inspire one another on our way to manifesting what it is that we're wanting. I am an avid fan of Abraham Hicks, and one of my goals right now is to listen to one of their recordings every day, Monday through Friday. I give myself weekends off if I want, but it feeds my belief system, and it also feeds my discipline, because I've realized over the last few months that being able to stick to a plan and discipline myself, it definitely impacts how quickly I manifest things. Okay, so that's what we're here for today. Got my cards out. I just want to give them another shuffle. And Sandra, you're here first, so yours is the first reading. I'm wanting to answer questions specifically today. What's going on for you? What do you need wisdom about? You certainly don't put anything into the questions that you don't want to be shared with the world, but you can even just say, could I have a reading on, my love life or my physical condition or my home or my career or anything? And then I'll draw a couple cards for you and see if we can get some clarity for on this Mother's Day. A couple other announcements. I'm sorry to be so lengthy. Look at that card laying on the table that stayed there. Isn't that interesting? But the last couple of weeks, my recording has flipped off unexpectedly right around the hour mark, and I'm not sure why this is happening, and I apologize for that. So I am going to cut off this call in an hour just to make sure that of love life. Okay, Sandra, I'd be glad to. I'm going to cut off at an hour so that I make sure I don't cut you off unexpectedly. We'll get as many cards pulled as we can during this time that we're sharing together. Okay, and oh, one other announcement. In the community tab on this channel, I put all of the teachers, the manifesting teachers, and the techniques that I'm using. I put them on the community tab. So please don't hesitate to check out the community and see who it is that's teaching me, because I'm getting some amazing results these days, guys. Okay, so the first card that's laying here, I'm just going to take it as our theme for the day because it wanted to be there. And we have this beautiful card, the Six of Raphael. And so, you know what? This message about the inner child is really an important one. Finding something that brings you as much engagement and pleasure and fun as when you were a child. If you can, excuse me, if and when you're able to be childlike in your mind, they don't worry much. You know, they get in when they're out playing, they are in their element. And that's what I'm sensing. It's like, for me personally, spending time in nature has been a real lifesaver for me. Another one is to look into Louise Hay, who I really respect, has wonderful material on healing your inner child. And if you are in a place where you're stuck in any part of your life, things are not flowing, a lot of times the roots are in your childhood. Some people go to therapy, it's very helpful. Other people can do personal development and work in some very good habits that can change some of the hurt feelings from childhood. But today, this card is stepping forward to show us that we are definitely making progress. We're coming out of our shell. We're coming back and wanting to re-enter and to be connected with people. I do have lots and lots of people that come to me for love advice. In fact, if you want to dig deeply with that with me, you can check out my blog, breakupcandy.com, where I write about heartbreak and what people do to get restarted in love. But in manifesting, of course, there are tons of things, tons of issues. And if you love manifesting the way I do, you want to try to use the techniques on all of your life areas, right? So you'll hear me talking during the readings, some manifesting ideas, but I don't really consider myself a manifesting teacher. I consider myself more of a manifesting cheerleader because I want to see you achieve your goals. Good morning, Jahan. I want to see you manifesting your goals and having a happier life. And there are so many good resources online. There's no sense me reinventing the wheel. Let's just draw cards and see what's blocking. So Sandra and Jahan, I see you're there. I'm looking for a pen, walking across the room. And what's blocking love? Huh? Should we find out? Because if you were with the person that you loved and you were in a relationship, you'd be asking me a different question, I think. So Sandra and Jahan. Okay. Oh, and oh, hi guys, Nicola and P. Fleming. Good morning. Yes. I'm going to write names down. I'm going to get as many readings as I can now that I've introduced everything, and let's go for it. So we have Sandra. Sandra, what's my, hey, Murphy. I've got my squirt gun here, so it's my weapon again. Murphy's my little guard dog. Okay, so Sandra, what could be blocking you in love? Murphy, shh, 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 shh. Okay. Oh, thank you, Nicola. I don't know quite how to say your name, but thank you. Thank you very much for saying Happy Mother's Day. Okay, so Sandra, let's take a look here. We have Archangel Raziel. You know what, Sandra, what I'm sensing here is that you may have a block in your Murphy, please. Excuse me a second. Let me get my squirt gun. Sometimes all I have to do is touch it and then he's a little quieter. Um, I'm one. Hey, Bliss, you know what, Bliss, thank you so much for getting back to me and letting me know what was going on with you because um, I'm proud of you for taking that step. So biggest hug from across the way. Okay. I know. All right. So aw, thank you, Rhonda. I love him too. Bless his heart. Okay. That's exactly right. The Epiphany card. So I think, Sandra, what's happening for you is that you're getting a lot of new ideas about the kind of partner that you want to have. And one of the things that's so important, I think, for you is that the partner would respect your spiritual curiosity. Okay. There's been, I think, maybe some doubts and fears in you that if you're truly yourself and that you allow your maybe quirkier side show or the side that really loves energy and loves cards and I do tapping with people to help remove blocks and people don't know even how to talk about tapping. What is it, right? And so I have a feeling that as you step forward here into this next as we go towards summer, that the universe wants to tell you to be clear about what it is you're wanting and don't be shy about asking for the precise type of partner that you want, especially in the area of shared beliefs, shared values, and 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 I would say even shared passion for personal development and the desire to be um, your full self. Okay, and so as you're going forward this week, what I would do is I would write a list. I know we've talked about writing lists when you're trying to manifest a partner, but this time, though, I'd like you to pick 5 things that you really feel will be fun for you to do with your partner. Okay, 5 scenarios, 5 scenes of things that you would be actively doing when you're with your partner. Place your imagination into your service here and see if that doesn't open up a gateway for you. Okay, because there is an epiphany coming, and I believe it will help you to formulate a more clear list of the kinds of things that your partner and you will do together. Then the next thing is to realize that there are some scenarios where you can go. For example, the golf world strikes me. And now I did teach golf for a few years, and I love to teach golf. But did you know that 1 out of 4 golfers in the world are female? That 75% of golfers on the planet are male. And so that's a big pool, right? And did you know that there's golf tournaments that need volunteers? Did you know there were charity events that need volunteers? So if you're female and you want to connect with a male as a partner, go where they are, fish in their pond. Okay, that's just one idea. If you need more ideas, write to me. My email address is always in the description box. I love when you all write to me. I love to know what's going on. I want to know your stories. Okay, so Jahan, you're looking for love also. So what could be blocking Jahan? What is it that could be the next stair step? Remember that when you're manifesting, you are setting that intention, you're setting that goal, and then you're putting it into the incubator so that the incubator can help it ripen and mature. Seed planting is what it's all about. And while you're waiting for your manifestation, that you're developing yourself. Now, there's 2 people that I'm listening to a lot right now. One of them is manifesting with Kimberly. You guys, she will kick your ass. She's sharp, she's honest, she's not for everyone, but if you're wanting some really good techniques, check her out, okay? Like I said, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to teach manifesting. I want to support manifesting because between the cards and tapping to remove the blocks, guys, you're on your way to getting what it is you're wanting. Okay, Jahan, what does Jahan need to know here? What's in the way between her and love? The Magician. Oh, very interesting card. Okay. Well, the universe, I love the first sentence of this card. Just look what it says. You can manifest the life you want. Okay. Now, the second line is very interesting because it says what you need will magically appear. So, Jahan, what that said, it does not say what you want will magically appear on this particular card. So I believe Archangel Raziel is here today to keep you on track. If I notice, if you look at the card, you can see that the angel is actually over the shoulder. See back here behind? And so to what this is showing me is that you have been using the law of attraction. You've been watching the videos. You've been working at becoming a better receiver. Remember that Abraham talks about step one is to ask, step two is let it go and learn. Then you step out of asking mode, you step into the receptive zone. You have to be ready to receive what it is you've asked for. But sometimes we can fall in love with the idea of something, and we can be so faithful to the idea that we're closed to steps that we need to walk forward. So I believe that you have plenty of skill in manifesting. Um, I'm just noticing your note, Nicola, and making a note of it. But Jahan, so let me just breathe this in. Okay. What's happening here is that you don't see yourself as powerful as you are. That in a way, the fact that things have not worked out, there's a lot of blaming. They're blaming yourself and being frustrated with life, not realizing that every time a door closes, there's a lesson there. And all of the past, all of your exes in the past have been actually holding your hand and walking you toward the kind of partner that would be very fulfilling for you. But there's something about your tools, something about your desires that need an adjustment. So let me speak to you a little bit about what I call core desires and formed desires. Because sometimes, as manifestors, we can watch a manifesting teacher and they'll say, you can have anything you want. That's it. You can have anything you want, which in a way captures our attention because we think, yes, that sounds wonderful. But the problem is that sometimes what you want is coming out of a fearful past. And so what you need from a partner is a different source. Okay. So, for example, let's say you want to be married to somebody who's taller than you. Now, I'm not kidding. I worked with a woman several years ago. Her main parameter was that the man needed to be taller than her. So we talked and we tapped and we created intentions around these goals because she was eliminating tons of wonderful partner material simply for their height. And as we worked and talked, it turned out that that was something that was very important to her. Okay. Now, what I call that is a formed desire. She formed it in her imagination and with her will. This also shows like when you're looking for a car and you're trying to manifest a car and you form that desire and you see yourself driving the car, but what you end up is with car payments for 5 years. Do you want to manifest car payments or do you want to manifest inner peace, right? You just, this is a trick with trying to figure out if your core desire is speaking or it's a formed desire. Now, the lady who wanted a tall husband, she ended up adopting twins. No kidding, as a single woman from another country because she couldn't find her tall man. And so she decided to be a mom on her own. So this is somebody that is operating in their own sense of desire, right? For for the core desire with a partner, That's going for a sustainable connection. Take that in. Feel that phrase, a sustainable connection. That is a core desire. It really doesn't have anything to do with how tall they are. What we're wanting is to create a connection with somebody that's sustainable. So that's your magic, Shahan. Go through your list one more time. Maybe list, I would say, 5 to 7 things that are key for you, what you want in your partner. And then go through each one and ask your inner being to show you. Is this something that's at your core? Or is it something you formed in your mind because you think that's what it would take to be a really good partner? Okay? It's a wonderful thing, manifestation. And yes, we can achieve what it is that our hearts desire. But part of that has to do with making a decision about exactly what it is that you're wanting and then stick to it. If we have desires and fears that are coming, excuse me, if we're having desires and goals that are coming out of fears, like I don't want anybody who's going to cheat on me, I don't want anyone who is short, I don't want anyone who is bald. You know, we make up these parameters. They may not actually be in our best interest. Okay, so moving on, we're going to Rhonda, and then we have Nicola, Bliss, and then Doris. Okay, and so moving to Rhonda in the love arena. Yes, please do ask a question, Doris. That's the best thing. And Rhonda, what is your question specifically now, my darling? How can I, what can I support you with today? Hi, Sharon. Welcome. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, everyone, because that's like as if we were all sitting around a table and you smile at me. That's what it's like when you hit the thumbs up because I can't see you, I can't hug you, I can't be there drawing cards for you in person, and I would love to do that. So thank you for those thumbs up, everyone. And Rhonda, good morning, Yusra. And is there a question, Rhonda, specifically? Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for a thumbs up. My name is Catherine. I always forget to introduce myself, my poor manners. I am Catherine, and this is Fish Out of Water Tarot. Super Abraham Hicks fan. Love, love, love them. Present romance situation on hold or gone. Doris, is he a soulmate? Raylene. Okay, all right, guys, we're moving. You guys are great. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. So, Rhonda, it looks like you're looking for that guidance about, is it time? You're at a fork of the road, right? A fork in the road. So let's get a message for Rhonda. If I don't get to you today, gosh, you guys, I'm already seeing there's so many people here. Some of the message may resonate with you. Don't hesitate to email me if you need any personal support. Tarot info, please, at gmail.com. Okay, thank you. All right, so Rhonda, fork in the road, what's your message? The King of Gabriel. Okay. Okay, beautiful. I'm just pulling this card so that I can look at it closely myself. Okay. I'm reminded, Rhonda, of a book that became a movie that's called He's Not That Into You. You might want to watch that movie. It's really a darling movie. But the thing is, if you have to ask, and this is something that I have asked men. I've been working with supporting people in breakup and moving on and starting again for 20 years, over 20 years. I do this connecting work, kind of connecting people back to their own desires after heartbreak. And so I ask men this question, and if there's any men here on this recording right now, you can please make a comment. But if you have to ask yourself, I wonder if this guy is into me, he's not into you. And that I ask that of men, and they say absolutely, because if a man is into you, you know it. So sometimes when you've been in a connection for a while and it's gotten dry or stale, there's signs going on. Quite frankly, I believe in the 30, 60, 90 theory, which is 30 days. When you first meet a person, hello, my darling Jamie, welcome, welcome. I believe in the 30, 60, 90 routine. When you first meet someone, there's a flush of all kinds of neurotransmitters, otherwise known as chemistry, which draws you together in a powerful way. Often it becomes sexual because it just feels good to be with that person. So as you have let's everybody send our enchanted mystic oracle and a healing energy. Just take a moment, reach out with love to Jamie. I'm sorry that you're having to have that. As we look at this, though, what's the King of Gabriel coming? Thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Vanessa. Um, what is this king showing us today? What's showing is that at this point, you have the wisdom that you need. There's something inside of you, Rhonda, that's already whispering truth. And if this is a permanent connection, like you're committed to this partnership, it does need refreshing. It needs to have new life. It needs to have a spring of life so that you're not asking yourself that question, should you stay or should you go? What you're wanting to have is to realize that the King of Gabriel may be suggesting that the cycle is closing with this person because you've learned everything that you have to learn. Many times, oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted from the 30, 60, 90. So the 30 is the 30 days. The first 30 days, usually by the end of that first 30 days, you already really know. There's some compromising that's been going on. And it's normal. When you meet, you've got that crush feeling, the beautiful zzz of energy. By the end of 30 days, it will start to shift to what I call rapport. And rapport is wonderful. Rapport is like a river. It ebbs and flows, and it's when you get to know someone and you have a different sort of connection. Does it still have chemistry? Yes. And if it's right for you, the blend of that rapport and the chemistry will be self sustaining. By the end of 60 days, you really do know the truth. Many times you've already compromised more than you want to, but part of you thinks, oh, what if nobody comes? What if this is as good as it gets? It's not that bad. And I will tell you that if you're in a connection and you say it's not that bad more than one time in a month, it's that bad. Okay, so part of it is in the 30, 60, 90 that as you start to compromise to be with your person, because we have to do that, you can't get your own way all the time, but the rapport starts to be ebbing away. Okay, by the end of 90 days, you know. Now, many times people don't recognize that and they think it can be fixed and they'll hang in there for another 3, 4, or 5 months. And then they will have a breakup and they find it all heartbreaking and they're all upset. For me personally, any breakup that happens inside a year is not a profound breakup. It may feel like that to you, but I can pretty much promise you that during that 30 days when you first started, you had your first warning sign. Okay. So at this fork in the road, Rhonda, if you're with someone and you want to make it work, then I would really do an audit and think carefully about what it is that you love about this person, what drew you in the first place, and go back to that 30-day thing. Think about it. When did you get your first yellow flag? When was the first time you thought, I'm not so sure? Okay. And if it's not a permanent relationship, I think it's showing you that the cycle is closed and that it's time to move on. Learn your lessons and move on. Okay. Again, if you have personal stories you want to tell me or you want to connect in any way, please Gmail tarotinfo, please, at gmail.com. I'm wagging my finger over here at you. Okay, so now let's go on to Nicola. Nicola, okay, so let me just see here. I think I can. Yes. Okay. So thank you for saying that. Now, remember our first card, the Six of Raphael. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it, but it is that childhood card. So for you, you can't be the energy wizard for your partner. They have to have that coming from inside. Okay. But if you're with someone whose inner child has been wounded and they're still going through a lot of healing, you are not the healer, you're the cheerleader, right? But a lot of times when you have a soft energy and you're an empath, we can attract people that are wounded that think we are their healer and we're not. Okay, but reach out, email me, Rhonda, would you, if you need to have more clarity on that. Okay, so Nicola, are you with someone, Nicola, or are you looking for someone? I know you were asking about relationships and pregnancy and that, so let me know. And then Bliss, I'm so pleased with what you have done to take those positive steps for your life. I think that I'm going to draw you a card, Bliss. I'm just going to wait for Nicola to get back to me with clarity. Thank you guys for being patient as we do these lives. Um, and the Six of Raphael, that energy of looking back into your inner childhood. I have had a therapy in my lifetime many years ago. I've probably worked with 3 different therapists. Then I've worked with many life coaches and healers over time. I receive a lot of wisdom from the cards. And then my own personal um, self care involves tapping because I love to tap. And also, I just started doing some sound healing. And I want to talk more about that, but I can't do all of that today. So Nicola, I'm not sure if you're still here, darling. I'm going to go ahead and guesstimate a reading for you in case you just stepped away. And I know there was a mention of love and potential pregnancy in there. I remember from the note. So Nicola, ah, Ace of Gabriel. Okay. This is a wonderful card for anybody who's looking for that fresh start. Okay. When I look at this and the beautiful Archangel Gabriel, and Gabriel is the heart of creativity and self expression. Okay. So this guardian angel, this power angel, hey, Nicola, this power angel is here to support you. Well, the very first thing I noticed, this is so unusual. I'm going to turn this card upside down because this looks like an iris to me. And irises are, okay, thank you. All right, good, good. She's with someone for 2 years. So the iris is a beautiful, rare flower. And so the first thing I'm going to suggest for you, Nicola, is I want you to Google the spiritual meaning of iris. Okay, that's your special message today. And with this, this is the idea of a fresh start. So the first thing I want to say is when I explained about the 30 and the 60 and the 90 as a personal audit, when you look at yourself right now, 2 years in, and then the smartest thing to do is a process. You want to get a piece of paper and divide it in half. On the one half, on the left, I want you to write a list of how the ideal partner would treat you. Okay, this is something where you're honest with yourself. If your current partner was an absolute dream come true, or if you just separate from your current relationship and write down in general what makes an ideal partner. A third way to look at this is to pick a family member or a really good friend. This might be easiest for you, Nicola, and write down for your friend What would be the mark of a really ideal partner? And what I'm gearing on today is how they treat you. Okay, sipping my coffee here. Hold on. Particularly in the area of respect, how how does the person treat you? Are you a person who enjoys physical contact and are as a language of love? Are you enjoying that? Are you a person who enjoys receiving gifts? And does your beloved treat you like that? Are you a person who loves spending time? And are you satisfied with the amount of time that you're being spent? You know, that type of thing. Um, to do an audit at this time is essential. The fact that you're reaching out to me, a stranger on YouTube, for this data shows me that you may have some doubts or fears within you. So once you write your ideal list, on the other side of the paper, write down what it is that you love about this current person. Write down all the positives that you love about them, and then compare the lists. If you have trouble doing that, I can help you. I'm happy to do a full reading for you, and that might be perfect for you right now. But also, even pulling in a friend, explaining to them what you're doing, and have them help you. Because when I divorced my second husband, and those are words I never thought I would hear myself say, the divorce of a second husband, or really? But I compromised so much, and I didn't understand the 30, 60, 90 thing. And I didn't understand how the rapport was lost early on, and I could have noticed it. But for some reason, my eyes were veiled, and I saw my situation as more positive than it was. After I divorced, I had friends of mine say, "Well, we could have told you." I said, "Why didn't you?" But I don't know that I've listened either. But this Ace of Gabriel, to me, it's a fresh start. So allowing yourself this audit. And if you're really committed and you feel he is your divine counterpart, then you may need a manifesting plan to get some movement here. Now, I highly recommend manifesting with Kimberly. The thing, what I'm hearing you, Nicola, um, I suggest go take a look at Manifest with Kimberly on YouTube. She talks every day about manifesting a specific person and manifesting the behavior that you want from that person. Okay. But like I said, the advice that I'm giving you about writing the list for yourself of what it is you truly want is going to really help you. And also, don't hesitate to get a full reading. It doesn't have to be from me, but imagine if you had several cards that were giving you the guidance that you might be wanting right now. Okay, it does look like you're at a fork in the road, but there is a fresh start that's right here for you. Okay, so don't give up. Like I said earlier, when relationships do close, there's a lesson there that was learned. For me personally, I found out that I was more loyal to the idea of marriage than I was to myself. I was more loyal to the idea of being in a couple than I was loyal to myself. And I think it came from my culture because I was raised Catholic. And that's a very strong pro marriage religion, like very strong. In fact, did you know? Of course, I'm quite a bit older than probably all y'all on this card. And when I was a teenager dating, I was scared shitless of my father and of losing my virginity. It was like this hell I was taught by nuns, and it was losing your virginity was like the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Well, then I went off to college, and it was, holy moly, I didn't date in high school. My father was very controlling, and there was none of that. And I went off to school, and I had men interested in me, boys, and it was all terrific. But I was very, very frightened about losing my virginity, quote unquote. Well, did you ever hear about a virgin with an asterisk? Like a little star by the word virgin. Well, in my era, there was such a thing, because if you married the man that you had sex with for the first time, you were still kind of a virgin. So you could wear your white dress, okay? And so, yes, Kimberly with, yeah, manifesting with Kimberly and looking up the meaning of iris. Exactly right. Thank you. But anyway, because of that, though, I took vows that really were not my idea. I was taking vows that were the church's idea or my culture's idea. So, I would say that Nicola, with that question, um, email me because that's private information. And so I definitely want to talk to you through an email and not on this venue. Okay. So anyway, so now at this point, I've cycled through many different relationship types, and I'm not so much a believer in a happily ever after marriage for everyone. I think certain relationships have a shelf life, and just like some food in your refrigerator, if it gets old, it gets mold and it needs to go, right? So that's part of when people come to me for relationship advice. I will lean you over to one of my blogs that's called Breakup Candy, breakupcandy.com. It's filled with wisdom about how to break up, when to break up, and how to recover and how to move on. That's over there. I was working on that blog until manifesting came into my life. I got mentioned in a book, and my about how I manifest, and manifestfaster.com was born in 2016, and ever since then I've been doing readings and teachings about manifesting. But my heart is always in heartbreak recovery, when you're with the wrong person, when you've made promises to yourself and others that you don't want to have anymore because you want to be free and walk forward. So when it comes to manifesting love, that's where my heart is. Anyway, thank you very much. We're going to move on to Bliss. And Bliss, is there anything specific that you want me to draw a card for you today? And while I'm waiting, I will say that I'm Catherine. You have found Fish Out of Water Tarot, and I'm the queen fish of the Fish Out of Water. I have lately, on the second part of my life, found out that I am neurodiverse, that the way I process information, the way my brain works is not typical. And that's created lots of different issues with my relationships. And my preference to be alone, my joy in being a hermit, and now I'm trying to learn how to be a social hermit. And so I understand the risks it takes to get involved with someone, be able to hold on to your personal identity, right? Even though you want to be a strong partner for someone, you still need to be whole yourself and vibrating in complete confidence that you and your divine are in alignment. Thank you, Abraham Hicks. So, Doris or Sharon, if you guys have questions specifically, you're my three people that are waiting, or anyone else that's joined, if you'd like me to draw a card around manifesting, again, in review, I'm calling these calls Manifesting SOS, because if you're trying to manifest love or career or anything, Doris, do you have a specific question? I think you did, but I missed it as it was going through. But if you have a question about manifesting or something that might be stuck in your own life, ask away and I'll draw a card and see what the wisdom is. So, Doris, what is your question? And anybody else? Oh, I will throw out there a commercial for Is Taurus my soulmate? Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. A lot of Tauruses. What's your sign, Doris? A lot of Tauruses follow me. In fact, I don't know why exactly. I'm a Scorpio, but I have started to do more and more readings for Taurus because I have so many of them that come my way. But let's very concerned about finances, John. Yes, I'd be happy to. Oh, Leo. Okay. All righty. Okay, so Leo and Taurus for Doris. It's a poem. Okay, let me just do that. Okay. All righty. Oh, I'm glad you're resonating. That makes, you know what, the first time that I would get messages from the collective, and And I would resonate, like I'd be sitting in the listening chair and I'm hearing it, and it's like, oh my gosh, um, this is talking exactly to me. And it's almost a little weird and strange, but it's proof of the law of attraction. It's proof that birds of a feather flock together. So don't be surprised if some of the words that I speak for another person are directly resonant with your problem. And also be sure to hit that thumbs up because I feel it. It's a hug to my being. Okay, so Doris, with this, you're Leo with a Taurus. So let's see what the cards have to say here. Okay, Archangel Zadkiel. Now, also, you guys, these angels that come up, I forgot to mention this. You guys can also Google what's the spiritual gift of these particular angels, and you will definitely get more wisdom for yourself here. So, let's see. Okay, so this is not an easy connection, right? I mean, we have the Leo, the fire, and and the passion of Leo, and then we have Taurus, which is an earth sign and a bit more. Uh, well, they operate like, okay, you know how a Tesla operates their engine one way, and a regular Mustang operates its engine a different way. Okay, so both of them can be on the freeway, can't they? And they both can go from LA to San Diego on the freeway in their proper lanes for sure, even though their fuel is completely different. I've never seen it like that before, ever, Doris. So this is definitely a message for you and your Taurus, Doris and Taurus. Okay. So what that means is as long as you stay in your lane and as long as they stay in their lane, there can be some reasonable agreements and compromises that will bring solutions. Okay. But when I look at this with the 14 and 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 to me is that card, it's the number of struggle. So in the tarot deck, the 5 of Wands, for example, is where there's a conflict because the goals of what you want demands for you to have to shift and change how you look at things. And I think that's part of, I mean, the Leo and the Taurus are both strong signs, but they're coming from completely different bases of energy. So this card, I love this, the self-control, the patience, the forgiving and healing energy. So I feel like communication is going to be really important here. I suggest there's a wonderful woman. Her name is Esther Perel, Perel. She is a marriage counselor. She's on YouTube. She has gazillions of videos, and she's excellent at navigating relationships between people with two different fuels like this. Okay. I don't know that she talks about astrology, but she definitely talks about that what the compromise that's needed to build a sustainable connection. All right. So I definitely would lean you into that arena. um, Let me see. Oh, another. Okay, Doris, that's so, Doris, write to me, would you? Um, yeah, be sure to, it's tarot info, please, at gmail.com. And because you are in that position, kind of the 30, 60, 90 thing. It's like you need to watch that your rapport is as strong as your original attraction. Wow, that's a deep one. Okay. Now, for those of you who weren't listening before, I explained that when you first meet someone, you have that rush of attraction. You cannot miss. The chemistry is strong. By the end of 30 days, it will start to shift. You'll still have some of the original attraction, but it begins to transmute into rapport. If the relationship is forever or for long term, by 60 days, the rapport will have developed. You will have compromising, and partly they may start to annoy you from time to time. But the point is, though, that your rapport needs to be as strong as the original attraction, then you know it's worth going forward. The fact that Doris is sensing his thoughts and his emotions, what I would say to you, Doris, it is absolutely critical that you stay in your lane, that you that you see your person in their lane and you're in yours. The relationship is a third lane. Got it? So you may need to do some special rituals where you shield yourself so that his energy cannot come into your lane unless you want it to. If we, as spiritual healers, we are extra sensitive and we pick up lots of people's energy. Learning how to cleanse your lane and make sure that when you want to be alone spiritually, psychically, in every way, that you have the power to do that. Okay, you may walk forward and this could be a terrific relationship, but with both of you being at a different base of energy, remember the Tesla and the Mustang, they operate from different operating systems, but they both get down the freeway. And lastly, imagine a freeway with no lane markers. That's the way a lot of people do relationships. It's like everybody's all over the bleeping road. And we're so busy stepping on each other's toes, running into each other, we can't sort out what it is we really, really want. So, Doris, I would say that it looks open that you may indeed be able to create a long term relationship with this Taurus, but it does look like you need to do some defining of what it is that you want in your space and your energy as you walk forward with him. Okay. You are welcome, Doris. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm going to be cutting off here, probably right around an hour. Uh, so I've got about just under 10 minutes left. And I just am having so much fun, I get a little bit lost. There's my alarm. Listen to this. This is my grandfather clock that was delivered to my house yesterday. I did not put it in order for a grandfather clock. It just came to me. And so, no kidding. So, when you're a manifester and wanting to manifest love, the smartest thing you can do is pay attention to all of the people that give you love and respect and kindness who are not soulmates, right? You're not dating them, you're not living with them. But when you go into the department store and somebody treats you kindly, that you notice that and soak it in and be so grateful for every kindness that's shown to you. It just grows your magnetism and makes you more attractive. So we have Sharon and John. John, I know you asked about money, so I'm going to jump into that. And Sharon, if you want to ask me your question, okay, in between, then I will come back to you. So, John, let's take a peek at what might be blocking your money, the flow of money for you. Okay. Money is an energy, it flows, it's like air. And when you are struggling to raise your vibration, if you're an Abraham Hicks fan, which I am, I love them so much, John. What I would do is look at YouTube and search for Abraham Hicks receiving money, because one thing about money that's very important for us as manifestors is to understand what it is to be receiving, to be in the receiving mode. So when I feel discouraged about something that I'm manifesting that hasn't shown up yet, because yes, it happens to me too, I will always go to Abraham and look up for how to be a better receiver. Because when they talk about putting yourself, I'm gesturing here, when they talk about putting yourself in the mode, in the receiving zone, so that you are more available for finances, what happens is that you tend to get into the right place at the right time. One of my favorite stories is it happened in the grocery store, a friend of mine, and she was standing there and she glanced behind her at the man's groceries, and he had an unusual set of groceries on the ramp, and he had some pickles, and she said, are those pickles real spicy? And he said no, and they started chatting about pickles. He ended up offering her a job. No kidding. He just liked, oh, Raylene with wealth. Is that or wealth or health? Okay, Raylene, yes, please. That spelling, I wasn't sure if you're looking for wealth or health. But anyway, right in the grocery store line, she got a job offer because she commented on the guy's pickles. So when you're doing work with manifestation, if you're really blocked, you definitely want to look at doing some energy work around money. YouTube is filled with meditations around breaking the energetic blocks around money. I do that work. I'm happy to help, and you can listen in on my readings for advice also. But let's see what it is that will boost John's confidence today when it comes to attracting more finances into his life. And King of Raphael. Wow, the king is showing up today. Okay, so the Raphael is the healing angel. Okay, so right away, what it shows me, and look at how, so here we see this king, and then we have Archangel Raphael in the shadow behind. And also in the water here is all of this splashing, all of this upheaval, all of this energetic activity. So Raphael is the angel of healing. So it looks to me like you have had some very tough lessons to learn, John, that some of what has happened for you when it comes to your career and it comes to trusting people and even trusting life, the process of life, because a lot of times when you're born and you go marching through life and you go to school and go to school and go to school, you hop out and get a job and you're just kind of, you know, it like in a machine where you're not even choosing, that people are choosing for you, right? And a lot of times that happens. And there are tremendous lessons to be learned along the way. So even though you may be disappointed in your finances at the moment, the truth is that your tough circumstances have been the best school in the world, that you have definitely come through times of struggle, and that this is almost like a graduation, that it's a sign that there's something new coming, right? Now, you are a multitasker, okay? So you've been able to juggle, and you may be the kind of person who really wants to have side hustle. You don't need to have your money coming from one place. And quite frankly, I think that's super smart these days. So I'm just trying to think. There's a wonderful, wonderful resource, and it's called the Daily Stoic, and Ryan Holiday is the creator of the Daily Stoic, and I love him so much. He's so common. Ah, okay, so a gig worker, right, right. So you're juggling. Take a peek at Ryan Holiday. Okay, he's young. He's a philosopher. He interviews really good people, but he talks a lot about taking personal responsibility and manifesting, but in a way that's not typical. But I'm feeling drawn to have you take a peek at him. Also, let me just breathe into this for a second. I think also what's happening for you is that I think you have trusted the wrong people sometimes, that you have like thought, oh gosh, this is great. This is going to open a door to something. And it's betrayed you, and there's been disappointment there. But the fact is that your inner being, the very core of you, absolutely knows what's best for you. Now, I'm going to suggest too for you, John, to take a peek at manifesting with Kimberly. And what I would suggest, like when she talks about manifesting what she calls your SP, your specific person, that you listen to her as if she's talking about money. Okay? So you'll listen to her video, and then when she says about manifesting a person, I want you to use your imagination and use her same techniques for attracting money. And give that a try, because I feel like you do need some manifesting training to understand how powerful you are as a magnet. And I do that. Like when I listen to Kimberly, I use the techniques for manifesting the ideal clients because not everybody hears the stories the way I present them. Not everybody um, has the deep yes that I want when I'm guiding someone. So keep that in mind, John. You can use that kind of thing. Oh, Vanessa, Vanessa, thank you. Let me just finish with John. John, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here today. Please do email me with details because it's hard on these calls to be able to delve into the situations. Okay. Vanessa, thank you for sharing that good news. Vanessa had to face a court case last week, and we all lifted her in energy and we did a reading, and it was dismissed. What a beautiful manifestation. And thank you so much for coming to us with that. I love that. So, you know what, you guys, I have to cut this off. I'm so sorry to do that because I know I had people waiting for readings, but it's Mother's Day. And I'm going to go. Actually, you guys, this is the first Mother's Day that I've been able to be with my son in over 20 years. I'm not even kidding. We've lived many miles apart for most of our lives. And so today, and to be totally honest, I'm such, I love my hermit life and I love my home with my dogs and my grandfather clock. And so when I do social things, even with my own family, it can be stressful. And so because I'm set up, I'm neurodiverse, and sometimes too much stimulation can make me anxious. So I have tools that I use, and a lot of times I'll just put a crystal in my pocket, just to reach and touch now and then. And even though the people there may not understand my tools, I don't have to tell them about it. But I need to watch my boundaries and make sure that I stay in my lane and make sure that I don't go into other people's lanes, which I tend to want to do. So I'm going to cut off the call. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for being here. If I didn't get to you this week, I promise I will try to get you in next week. I'm here every Sunday at the same time. I love y'all so much. Let me just draw one quick card here for our close for all of us. And we have the Six of Ariel. So beautiful. Material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving or receiving with a grateful heart. You guys are that to me. You are my gift. When I have days where I don't understand the changes that are happening, or I feel that the timing is not right. And why is the universe taking so much time? All I have to do is think of you guys, and my heart just goes through the roof. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that you feel supported and encouraged when you come to my channel. So go forth and prosper. Have an absolutely beautiful day. And thank you for spending time with me this morning.